And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2010 USCSA National Championships here from Sunday River, Maine. Boss Hogg and Nikki Holden bring it to you live from the broadcast booth here at Barker Mountain as we are getting ready for the second run of the men's giant slalom. A fantastic competition earlier here this morning as 121 of the contestants came down this Monday morning giant slalom track created here especially by the Sunday River crew. We will take the top 30 from the first run. We'll reverse their order, and that's how we'll start things here for the second run as we get ready to crown the 2010 USCSA National Champion in the men's giant slalom. I'd like to welcome all of our listeners on the World Wide Web, tuning into the USCSA Radio Network at www.uscsa.com. We'll be broadcasting all of the events from the USCSA Nationals here at Sunday River all week long. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow as we'll bring you live coverage of the women's first and second runs of the slalom race. And then on Saturday, we have triple header coverage as we'll bring you coverage of the men's slalom first run, the men's snowboard giant slalom, and the men's slalom second run. Pretty impressive start to things here. Earlier this morning, we got underway right about 9:30 for the first run of this men's GS event. And a quite impressive showing from a couple of the skiers here today. Let's quickly go over the top 30 finishers. Of course, Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College, the top time in the first run, came down with a blistering 102.60. He was followed by Ollie Freiberg from Rocky Mountain College with a 103.36. And from Sierra Nevada, again, Marcus Plyer in the third position with a 103.44. But they're going to go towards the end of the pack as we'll take the top 30 and reverse their order. So we'll be seeing Nathan Ord, Ryan Leake, Brian Breeze, A.J. Oliver, Max Lund, Ryan Lawless, Ian Schumann, John Seaborg, Chris McChesney, and Tyler Chandler will be your first 10 skiers. 390 meters of vertical drop here at the T2 Monday Morning Trail at Sunday River. About an hour of resetting the gates here on the Monday Morning Trail. And very much like the ladies' competition yesterday that ran a giant slalom with a tight gate setup right down the middle of the run, they have really spread these gates out now as they reach across the Monday morning run from left to right, almost from edge to edge of this trail. And that should provide quite a different experience for the ski racers coming down in this second run. Nick, as a competitive ski racer yourself, you've had an opportunity to have that hour and a half in between runs. What goes through a skier's mind when you're waiting for the start of the second run, the one that really counts?
Sure, the first thought that goes through my mind is food time. Absolutely, boss. The thing is that, after that first run, it's pretty strenuous. Your thighs are burning. Get in there, grab a ham and cheese sandwich. Get ready to get back up the top of the course, and, especially when you're talking about these racers that are in the bottom 15 of the flip, they're looking to put out a really aggressive run. Expect the first 10 or so racers here to give it their all because they really want to move up there. And once we get towards the top placers, we're talking about, the top 10 who will be racing 21 through 30. We're looking for them to they'll probably run a little bit more conservative, try to hold on to that lead, but will it hold up? Not sure. We're looking up at a course that is a little bit straighter up at this really steep pitch up top, but then it gets really technical down once we're looking at the bottom third, and then, of course, straight away to the finish, as most courses are. But, boss, it's definitely going to be an interesting afternoon.
We've got exciting ski racing action coming up next for you here on the USCSA Radio Network. The men's giant slalom second run just moments away from the start of this race, and by the end of this afternoon, we will crown a 2010 USCSA National Champion in the men's giant slalom. Also a very competitive race in the men's GS team event as they are fighting it out in different spots of the order. The top two just separated by 1 point. Here, Sierra Nevada College currently in the lead on the team standings, but closely behind them is Westminster College. In the third spot in the team event is Rocky Mountain College, followed by Plymouth State and by Boston College. All three of those schools grouped together pretty tightly, and then it is a battle for the, from 5 down. University of British Columbia in 6th place with 200.43. Colby Sawyer in 7th with 201.03. St. Olaf in 8th with 201.2. UMass Amherst in 9th at 201.5. Clarkson University in 10th at 202.35. Syracuse at 202.38. And Whitman College in the 12th spot at 202.96. So as you can see, Nick, it is a tight battle for this highly coveted team competition. Not only do we crown an individual national champion here today, but we will also crown a school national champion for the team events, where they take the top 3 racers' times, add them together, and that's what calculates the team score.
That's right, boss. I mean, between the top 5 teams here, there's about an 8-second differential. And when we're talking about 2 runs for 3 skiers on each team, really it's anybody's game at this point. And we'll definitely be looking at those team standings as we go through this second run.
So as we said, from the first run, we'll take the top 30 racers and their times. We'll reverse their order, meaning the 30th place time will come down first and the fastest time will come down 30th. Then we will run the rest of the field. But typically in those first 30 racers, we will probably discover who our national champion is going to be for this event. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors here at the USCSA. Today's broadcast being brought to you by Reliable Racing, your one-stop shop for all that is snow sport racing and supply. Whether it's their full line of winter sports race gear, timing, or hill and event supplies, Reliable Racing has the solution for you. Reliable Racing, the official equipment supplier of the USCSA National Championships. Today's broadcast also brought to you by Halti USA, the official clothing supplier of the USCSA. Halti USA, their passion to provide great outdoor memories. You can visit them on the World Wide Web at www.haltiusa.com. Boss Hog alongside Nick Holden here at the base of Barker Mountain at beautiful Sunday River, Maine. A fantastic track. A fast track as they have reset for the second run. And our 4 runners have begun their process of getting this course ready and open for our first official competitors.
Boss, we're getting the first 4 runners down the course. And while we have a little bit of a straightaway up at the top of the pitch that we can see here from the timing shack, the course really takes a skier's right-hand turn pretty far to the side, which makes it actually a longer course here. We'll see how the competitors can hold up with a little bit of a longer course and a little bit straighter too.
Of course, the 4 runners, a great honor to be a 4-runner named in one of these national championships. Usually aspiring high school students looking forward to getting into the USCSA Nationals themselves as they move on from high school to college. Also a great opportunity for the racers to have one look at the course before the competition begins. They're able to radio up to any course workers of any problems that they saw on the run, but certainly some smooth runs now being laid down by these 4 runners, which would indicate this course is in perfect condition and ready for this second run.
Looks like a great course up there, boss. All 3 4-runners making it through very successfully, and we'll look for a lot of finishes in the second run. And it's definitely going to be tight. Definitely looking at those team standings still, with a very small margin separating the top 5.
Again, our opening order for this afternoon's second round. First, we'll see Nathan Ord from Whitman College. Next will be Syracuse University's Brian Leake, followed by Tufts' Brian Breeze. Then we'll see Rocky Mountain College and A.J. Oliver in the fourth starting position. And St. Olaf's Max Lund as they prepare to come down for their first run. Now in the start house, wearing bib number 43 is Nathan Ord from Whitman College. He will be our first rider. And things are underway here from Sunday River, Maine, as Nathan Ord is now on course for Whitman at an opening time of 107.21. And he makes his way into the top third of the course.
Nathan Ord, a member of Kappa Kappa Gamma over there at Whitman College. He says that he's working on moving from blue squares to green circles on the skiing hill. But this is a little bit more than a blue square over here. We've got a pretty steep course here and a pretty big vertical drop for a GS course here at the USCSA National Championships.
Nathan Ord through the first intermediate split gate at 23.76. And don't think that these men will not let it all hang out on this run. There is nothing to lose here except the opportunity to win a national championship. And you're going to see the finest performance from all of these collegiate athletes as Nathan Ord now through the second time split at 49.78. Meanwhile, bib number 38, Syracuse University's Ryan Leake. He is now on course with a blistering first split of 16.76. Meanwhile, Nathan Ord from Whitman College making the final two gates here as he makes his way into the finish corral, and across the line comes Nathan Ord. And Ord with a time of 120.30. That'll combine him at 227.51. That'll put him in first. But 29 more skiers to come. And here comes Ryan Leake from Syracuse University. Now,
excuse me, boss. It's always great to make the flip, but Nathan Ord in a tough position there. A little scary to go first, but he throws down a nice run with that 120.30. Let's see how it holds up with Ryan Leake right behind him.
Now Leake coming across the finish line, crossing the stripe in a 108.91. That'll give him a combined time of 2:16.09, and that puts Ryan Leake from Syracuse University into the first slot. Now Brian Breeze on course from Tufts University. A fast intermediate split of 16.68 in the first time barrier. That puts him in first. He's still in first at the second split at 37.16 as Brian Breeze having a fantastic run here on the second time down during this national championship from Sunday River.
This jumbo getting in a tuck pretty early up here. It does straighten out a little bit.
Brian Breeze into the last three gates, trying to squeeze every second out of this run, and he crosses the finish line, and it's good enough for first place. So Tufts University's Brian Breeze with a second run of 108.28, giving him a combined time of 2:15.43. That'll thrust him into the leader spot. So it's Brian Breeze in first, Ryan Leake in second, and Nathan Ord in third. Meanwhile, A.J. Oliver from Rocky Mountain College is on course. And he, too, is flying in the first intermediate split of 16.2. Takes the lead in the second split as well of 36.6. A.J. Oliver now making his way through the lower third of the course. Staying very smooth. Keeping the upper body very still. Trying to maintain a tuck. Keeping himself low to the ground as he reaches the last four gates. Here comes A.J. Oliver from Rocky Mountain College. Across the stripe is A.J. Oliver. And it's enough for first place. 106.96. With a total combined time of 2:14.09, A.J. Oliver from Rocky Mountain College, your current leader here in the men's GS. Max Lund now on the course from St. Olaf. Colby Sawyer's Ryan Lawless sits atop in the race shack waiting to drop in for his second run, but it is Max Lund now also improving the intermediate splits, first and second splits. He's got him in first place. Can he keep it going here on the bottom third as he reaches the final five gates? Here comes Max Lund from St. Olaf. He crosses the stripe, and it's good enough for first place for Max Lund. Now he moves into the lead with a 106.29 and a combined time of 2:13.39.
Max Lund definitely with a very nice tuck there through about the last 8 gates. Looked very technical. Great job, Max Lund.
The team standings now moving all over the place as things are happening early here in the second round. Current leader in the team race standings, Syracuse University, followed by Whitman, Sierra Nevada College. Westminster College, Rocky Mountain College, Plymouth State, Boston College, and the University of British Columbia. So Max Lund, currently your leader from St. Olaf. A.J. Oliver in the second slot, Brian Breeze in the third position. But still 25 of the fastest racers to come down this course as we have reversed the top 30 for this second run.
Next up, we'll see Ryan Lawless of Colby Sawyer College. He plays baseball for the Colby Sawyer baseball team there. He's an undeclared major and says he's a minor in shredding. We'll see if he shreds up this course here, boss.
Colby Sawyer College, coached by Coach Garrett Lasher from Carabasset Valley, Maine. Involved for a long period of time with the Carabasset Valley Academy High School program and has assembled quite a team here for this U.S. Nationals at Colby Sawyer. And now dropping in from Colby Sawyer is Ryan Lawless wearing bib number 18. And Lawless having a good run at the top as you can see him come down over the head wall, really letting it hang out, trying to stretch out all he can get out of this run. Here comes Lawless. Lawless now past the halfway part. Into the bottom third of the course. Can he keep the speed going as things flatten out? A really important transition now coming up for Lawless. Ryan Lawless from Colby Sawyer College stays into the tuck. And he's reaching for the finish line as Ryan Lawless crosses the stripe. And it puts Lawless not enough for first place. Into second place still behind Max Lund. So Lawless with a second run of 106.56 and a combined time of 213.65. Syracuse University's Ian Schumann now wearing bib 16 coming down the head wall. Schumann trying to sling together a second run. Nothing will be left up there on that hill, I can assure you, as these boys are working hard for a national championship here. The team standings all over the place. St. Olaf now in first place. Rocky Mountain in second. Syracuse in third. Whitman, Sierra Nevada, and Westminster College in fourth, fifth, and sixth, while Ian Schumann from Syracuse University crosses the finish line with a time of 109.25. Sixth fastest so far here in the second run. And that'll place him in sixth position. But Max Lund still in the lead from St. Olaf, followed by Ryan Lawless. Check that, Ryan Lawless in second spot, A.J. Oliver in the third position. But now John Seaborg on course from Northern Michigan University. Seaborg now getting down into the lower parts, into the last 8 gates. Seaborg trying to hold a tuck as long as he can. As you know, Nicky, the legs start to burn down here. Oh, he almost lost it, but he was able to gather himself, and he's able to finish. So right on the last gate, it looked like a wobble from Seaborg, but he was able to recover. Comes in with a time of 108.46 and a combined time of 215.44. Good enough for fifth place.
John Seaborg standing up pretty tall through those last few gates, but still puts up a pretty respectable time there. Gets him into fifth place for now, but we've still got a lot of racers to come down.
Max Lund in first, Ryan Lawless in second, A.J. Oliver in third, but here comes Chris McChesney from Whitman College. McChesney making his way into the final gates. Anything can happen in the second run of a men's giant slalom here at the USCSA Nationals. It really boils down to who can string 2 runs together. Here's McChesney at the finish line for Whitman College with a sixth fastest second run time of 108.74, a combined of 215.61 for Whitman College's Chris McChesney. Now on course from Rocky Mountain College, number 61, Tyler Chandler. And in the gate, UMass Amherst's Adam Pogorzelski. Now he's on course. Matthew Small waiting to come down as the action gets fast and furious here on the Monday morning trail at Sunday River. Tyler Chandler into the lower third of the course.
Tyler Chandler getting pretty low up there. Rocky Mountain College could really use a pretty fast time out of Tyler Chandler as they're currently sitting in 4th place in the team standings.
And here comes Chandler across the stripe. Will it be enough for Chandler? A 107.21 in his second run gives him a combined time of 2:13.99. That's good enough for 3rd place. Still Max Lund early in the pack with a massive 106.29. The fastest second run so far has thrust him into 1st place, and he's holding on to that position. It's currently Lund, Lawless, Chandler, Oliver, and Breeze in your top 5 slots. But Adam Pogorzelski from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst now on course, reaching out into the bottom 3rd. 9 gates to go for Pogorzelski. His teammate, University of Mass Amherst, Matthew Small, also on course. But here comes Adam Pogorzelski. Pogorzelski across the stripe in a time of 106.83, the 3rd fastest, and it moves him into the lead with a combined time of 2:13.17. So now your new leader from UMass Amherst, it's Adam Pogorzelski. Matthew Small now making his way over the head wall into the top of the course, getting into the middle, really setting some great angles. You can see the speed these kids are carrying down this course.
It's like a freight train coming down the hill here.
And Matthew Small reaching the bottom portion of this run. It looked like he had a tough time with that gate right there, Nikki. Can he regather enough speed to get through to the finish line? Let's see what the time looks like as Matthew Small from UMass Amherst comes across in a 106.69, and it is indeed enough for the lead with a combined time of 2:12.85. Your new leader from UMass Amherst, it's Matthew Small.
We'll see how long that stands up, boss. Matt Small getting caught up on about 6 gates up. Got his right hand caught on a red gate. Pulled him back a little bit, but he's still good for 1st as of right now.
Now Kevin Sheehan from Sierra Nevada College on course. Jean-Philippe Fanouf from Clarkson also on course. Kevin Sheehan now making his way into the bottom. We should be seeing Jean-Philippe Fanouf come over the top head wall shortly, but now it's Kevin Sheehan from Sierra Nevada. Into the tuck and across the stripe is Sheehan. And Sheehan with a 106.83 and a combined time of 2:12.90 currently puts Sheehan in 2nd place. So here's your top 5. Matthew Small from UMass Amherst, followed by Kevin Sheehan from Sierra Nevada. UMass Amherst, Adam Pogorzelski in 3rd. Max Lund from St. Olaf in 4th, and Ryan Lawless in the 5th spot from Colby Sawyer.
It's pretty impressive. Sheehan only off Small's time by 0.05 of a second when we take the combined times.
Now coming into the finish is Jean-Philippe Fanouf from Clarkson. Here comes Jean-Philippe Fanouf into the last gate, and tucking across the stripe he comes. And Jean-Philippe Fanouf with a time of 107.75 and combined of 2:13.75, good enough for 6th place. Of course, the team standings now fluctuating all over. UMass Amherst now in the lead with 428, followed by Rocky Mountain College, Syracuse, Whitman, St. Olaf. Wild action here from the T2 Monday Morning Trail as Nick Stang now from St. Olaf College on course wearing bib number 7. He'll be followed by Plymouth State's Peter Ostrowski. Matthew Small still maintaining a small lead here in this individual competition. Can Nick Stang change things? Across the line comes Stang with a time of 106.97, good enough for 1st place, as Nick Stang from St. Olaf College now in the lead with a combined time of 2:12.75. Peter Ostrowski now on the head wall, making his way down to the halfway point. Can he keep the speed going for the bottom 3rd? Peter Ostrowski skiing for Plymouth State College. Nick Stang now in the lead. Matthew Small in 2nd, Kevin Sheehan in 3rd. But Peter Ostrowski wants to change things. 4 gates to go for Ostrowski. Now Peter Ostrowski from Plymouth State tucks in, under the line, into the corral. Across the stripe comes Ostrowski. And it's good enough for 1st place. Peter Ostrowski now moving into the lead with a combined time of 2:11.66. And a fantastic second run, the fastest of the day at 1:05.99. So Ostrowski stringing together a second run Inspired skiing by Ostrowski, and he currently takes the lead. Nick Stang now in second. Matthew Small in third. Sheehan in fourth, and Adam Pogorzelski from UMass Amherst in fifth.
Great run there by Peter Ostrowski. He looked like he was getting a little late at the top, but really caught up at that left-hand turn and right back up there at first place.
Ostrowski with an amazing time of 105.99, the first sub-106 time of the day. But now, coming into the finish line is Sean Dunston from Colby Sawyer College with a 106.28 in the second run, a combined time of 211.90. That's not going to be good enough to take over first, but it definitely puts him in the second place position. So Peter Ostrowski from Plymouth State holding on to that first place spot. Sean Dunston from Colby Sawyer College in second. Nick Stang in third. Matthew Small in fourth, and Kevin Sheehan in fifth. Looks like we're taking a break here up on the course. As the course is empty, Greg Graves from Boston College wearing bib 28. He is in the start shack waiting to drop in for his second run. And as the team standings update here, it is a war, an all-out battle as UMass Amherst in the lead over St. Olaf in second. Rocky Mountain in third, Syracuse in fourth, Whitman College in fifth, Plymouth State in sixth, Sierra Nevada in seventh, Colby Sawyer in eighth, Clarkston in ninth. Working down, it's Northern Michigan University in 10th. Westminster College in 11th, Boston College in 12th. But their skiers still have yet to come down the run, and things will change. But as it stands right now, Peter Ostrowski from Plymouth State University, he leads this men's giant slalom championship here from Sunday River with a combined time of 2:11.66. Sean Dunston from Colby Sawyer currently in the second spot. St. Olaf's Nick Stang in third. UMass Amherst Matthew Small in fourth. And rounding out the top five from Sierra Nevada College, it's Kevin Sheehan.
Boss, the key to winning this race is going to be this one gate. If you look at the steeps up there as it turns into flats, there's a big space between a blue gate and a red gate. And after that, it's a very straight gate after that. So it's really going to be about skiers carrying their speed from that steeps down to the flatter section of the course. It's okay to get a little bit late at the top if you can kind of catch up there at the bottom. And that's exactly what Peter Ostrowski of Plymouth State did. And that'll give him first place for now.
You're absolutely right, Nick. As you can see coming off the head wall, off the steeps, there's a hard kicker to the right, and then they shoot him straight back left again. So as you're coming through the fastest part of the course, you really have to put the edge in to make that hard right-hand turn and then back to the left again.
We'll see how Greg Graves of Boston College holds on. He's just entering that section of the course.
Indeed he is, and he looks fast. Greg Graves now coming down for Boston College. Let's see if he can put it together in the lower third. Peter Ostrowski with the fastest second run time of 105.99, setting the time to beat so far. And here comes Greg Graves from Boston College. Into his tuck and across the stripe. Boston College's Greg Graves with a time of 107.23, combined of 212.44, and that's good enough for third place for Greg Graves. So the order shifts again. Ostrowski, Dunston, Graves, Stang, and Small, your top five. But the big racers still to come. And here's one of them, as Dylan Bryant from Western State College now on course. Stephen Fiorella from Boston College just dropping in out of the race shack at the top of the run. But it's Dylan Bryant from Western State College moving into the last five gates here. Will he have enough speed? Here comes Dylan Bryant in the last gate, tucking to the finish, and across his stripe is Dylan Bryant with a time of 106.72 and a combined of 211.82, currently putting Dylan Bryant into second place. So a great run from Dylan Bryant. Peter Ostrowski from Plymouth State still leading this thing with a combined of 211.66, a super fast second run of 105.99. Dylan Bryant from Western State now in second. Sean Dunston moves to third from Colby Sawyer. Here comes Stephen Fiorella from Boston College. Matthias Melziva from Sierra Nevada now also on course. And Bjorn Tuaz in the race shack ready to drop in for his second run. Here comes Fiorella. Fiorella into the last gate, keeping the tuck. squeezing every single bit of speed out of this run he can. And across the finish line is Fiorella in a time of 107.44, a combined of 2:12.36. That'll put him currently in 4th place.
Good time for Fiorella. That'll help out BC in 8th. I expect them to definitely move up as we get through the top 30 finishers from the first run here.
Down
at the USCS National Championships.
Down to the final 10 racers here as far as times were concerned from the start. They reversed flipped 30. Oh, and then out in the middle of the course. Was he able to save it? It looks like he was. He did not miss a gate as Matthias Melziva from Sierra Nevada College. He's going to finish his run. And across the stripe comes Melziva from Sierra Nevada with a second run time of 106.72. He is currently in the lead even with the bobble. He scraped a lot of speed in maybe the 4th gate from the finish, but he was still able to maintain the momentum. And Matthias Melziva now from Sierra Nevada College with a 2:11.46 combined time puts him into 1st place.
Definitely scrubbed a lot of speed in the flats there, boss, but he ended up racing well enough in the rest of the course. That'll put him in 1st place. Very impressive.
Bjorn Toise now from Rocky Mountain College. He makes his way down through the lower 3rd. The last 4 gates for Toise. Now Toise across the stripe. Will it be enough for Bjorn Toise? With a 105.96, and he goes into the lead with a combined time of 2:10.64. Your new leader from Rocky Mountain College, it's Bjorn Toise. So a shuffle in the order. Toise in 1st. Melziva in 2nd. Ostrowski down to 3rd. Dylan Bryant in the 4th slot. And Sean Dunstan rounding out the top 5. But here comes Matt Bunston from the University of British Columbia. Bunston with the 8th fastest time in the first run. Here comes Bunston.
Bunston scrubbing a little speed, about 7 gates up.
And Bunston now to the finish line, and across the stripe comes Matt Bunston from the University of British Columbia, a 107.41 in the second run. That'll give him a combined time of 2:11.63, good enough for 3rd place. So let's run down the top 10 for you now. Currently in 10th place from UMass Amherst, Matthew Small. St. Olaf's Nick Stang in the 9th position. Greg Graves from Boston College in 8th. His teammate Stephen Fiorella in 7th. Sean Dustin from Colby Sawyer College in the 6th slot. Here are your top 5. Dylan Bryant from Western State in the 5th position. Peter Ostrowski from Plymouth State in the 4th spot. Matt Dunstan from the University of British Columbia in 3rd. In the 2nd place position is Matthias Melziva from Sierra Nevada, and currently leading this 2010 men's giant slalom final from Rocky Mountain College is Bjorn Toise.
Well, all right, boss, let's take a look at the top 10 teams so far. Again, we got a lot of racers to come. We're looking at the top 3 racers from each school, but as of now, we've got Clarkson in 10th, Plymouth State in 9th place. Right before them is Whitman. In 7th, Syracuse. 6th, St. Olaf. UMass Amherst taking the 5th spot. Colby Sawyer in 4th. Boston College currently in 3rd place. Sierra Nevada currently in 6th place, and our leader as of right now is Rocky Mountain College.
The 7th fastest times from the first run still have yet to come down. We're going to see Christopher Beeden. Christopher Beeden from Plymouth State. We're going to see Lawrence Jededal from Western Mountain College. Also Mark Parathiner from Western Mountain. We'll see Jurgen Karner from Western Mountain. We'll see Marcus Plyer from Sierra Nevada. The 2nd fastest qualifier from Rocky Mountain, Ole Freiberg, has yet to come down. And the leader after the first run from Sierra Nevada, Philip Bratstrom, with the fastest first run of the day. 7 racers to come. Now Christopher Beeden is on course from Plymouth State. He's at the top of the course. Here is where the action gets wild and crazy. Christopher Beeden now from Plymouth State, looking to link a second run together. Should be seeing Beeden come across the head wall momentarily. Beeden out with an intermediate split in the first time gate of 16.17. That's only 11th place, so struggling at the top. Can he put it together here on the head wall? Here comes Plymouth State's Christopher Beeden. Moved back into 5th place on the second split of 35.84, so he's definitely picking up time, Nick. Christopher Beeden
Absolutely looking good coming into the flats. Starting to get a little bit wide, but we'll see if he can straighten it out down here at the bottom.
Here comes Beeden. 4 gates to go for Christopher Beeden from Plymouth State. And across the stripe comes Beeden. Will it be enough? And it is! Your new leader, Christopher Beeden. He made up an enormous amount of time on the bottom part of the course with a time of 106.01, the third fastest on the second run. But adding that to his first run gives him a combined of 2:10.17 in your new leader. From Plymouth State, Christopher Beeden. Bjorn Tawaz from Rocky Mountain in second, moving Matthias Melziva from Sierra Nevada into third. Here comes Lawrence Jedidal from Western Mountain College. His teammate Mark Parathiner right behind him. Lawrence Jedidal from Western Mountain into the bottom part of the course. 4 gates to go for Jedidal. Here comes Jedidal across the stripe. It's Lawrence Jedidal from Western Mountain College. A 106.14, 210.23 as the combined time, good enough for second place. So Christopher Beeden still holding on to the lead here. Lawrence Jedidal moves into second, pushes Bjorn Tawaz back into the third spot. Matthias Melziva in fourth and Matt Dunstan in fifth.
Jedidal looking so strong coming over that head wall. Very fast, only 0.6 off the leader right now. Looks like he might have lost a little bit of speed coming into the flats.
And the horse race is on, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Mark Parathiner from Western Mountain College. Parathiner with the 5th fastest time in the first run. What can he do here? The last gate for Parathiner. He tucks it into the corral. Crossing the finish line is Mark Parathiner, and he moves into first place with a combined score of 209.10. And the fastest time for the second run from Parathiner, 105.23. Mark Parathiner from Western Mountain College takes over the lead here in the men's giant slalom.
Wow, Parathiner ahead by over a second in the combined times. It's going to be tough to beat that. We'll see if these upcoming competitors can beat that time.
Fast and furious, the final 4 racers now coming down. Here's Jürgen Karner from Western Mountain College. Karner with the 4th fastest first time at 103.61. Will he have enough here at the end? Jürgen Karner trying to get ahead of Mark Parathiner. Teammates here fighting it out as Jürgen Karner crosses the stripe. What will it be? Jürgen Karner. Jürgen Karner. And it's not fast enough for the lead. Only into second place goes Karner with a combined of 209.51. 105.9, the second fastest on the second run. But not enough to take over Mark Parathiner's first place spot here. Here are your top 3: Parathiner, Karner, Christopher Beeden from Plymouth State. Still the fastest to come. Marcus Plyer now from Sierra Nevada College on course. Ollie Freiberg from Rocky Mountain College has dropped in out of the timing shack. He is on course. And the leader after the first round, Philip Bratstrom, in the shack ready to come down. But here is Marcus Plyer from Sierra Nevada College. Plyer crosses the finish line, and it's good enough for first place. Marcus Plyer into the lead with a combined time of 208.94, a 105.5, blistering speed down the second run for Marcus Plyer. Sierra Nevada College's Marcus Plyer now takes over the lead from Parathiner. It's Plyer, Parathiner, Karner, Beeden, Jedidal in your top 5. But the 2 fastest still to come. Here comes Ollie Freiberg from Rocky Mountain College. He's moving like a tremendous machine down the middle of the course. Here comes Ollie Freiberg. Freiberg letting it all hang out. Wild and crazy. Ollie Freiberg from Rocky Mountain College. Will it be enough?
Freiberg out of Sweden originally. He skied the biggest of the big, and we'll see if his time is low enough to beat the leaders as of now.
Here comes Ollie Freiberg across the stripe. We'll take a look at the time, and it's not good enough. He had a slow bottom run. 107.25 was the time for Ollie Freiberg, and a combined time of 210.61. Now Philip Rastrom from Sierra Nevada College, the final racer and the fastest racer from the top 30 here on the first run. It is his race to win or lose right here is Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College. He's down into the bottom third. 5 gates to go for Bratstrom. Will he be able to overtake Plyer? Here comes Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College. Across the stripe comes Bratstrom. And it's good enough for the win. Philip Bratstrom, 207.78, a 105.18 on the second run, the fastest second run of the day. And Philip Bratstrom puts together two impressive runs, winning the fastest time on the first run, the fastest time on the second run, and of course your winner, Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College, with an incredible two-run combined time of 2:07.78. So Philip Bratstrom letting it all go here at Sunday River on the Monday morning course in this 2010 men's giant slalom final. An incredible performance by Sierra Nevada's Philip Bratstrom. Marcus Pyler from Sierra Nevada, his teammate in the second slot, Mark Parathner from Western Mountain College. In the third position, Jürgen Kerner from Western Mountain as well in the fourth slot. And Christopher Beeden brings up the fifth position from Plymouth State. But an absolutely amazing two-run combination from Sierra Nevada's Philip Bratstrom. And he looked fast all the way on both runs. Nick, what an incredible performance from the Sierra Nevada team, getting 1 and 2 here in the men's giant slalom, and Bratstrom literally just blowing away the field with a combined time of 2:07.78. The next closest competitor, his teammate Marcus Pyler, with a 2:08.94, so a 1.2 second difference in the combined time, and Philip Bratstrom has something to be proud of today.
Absolutely destroying the competition there was Philip Bratstrom of Sierra Nevada College. 1.2 second time, that's a lot of time when you're talking about two runs totaling just over 2 minutes. Congratulations go out to Philip Bratstrom, surely the champion of today's men's giant slalom run here at the USCSA National Championship.
Of course, we still have racers on the course, but they were not part of the original top 30, so it's very unlikely that any of those racers will be able to break into the top 10. So let's do your unofficial breakdown for the individual competition now. In 10th place from the University of British Columbia, it is Matt Bunston. In 9th place from Sierra Nevada, Matthias Melziva. In 8th place from Rocky Mountain College, Bjorn Twas. In 7th place, his teammate from Rocky Mountain, Ollie Freiberg. In 6th position from Western Mountain, it is Lorenz Jededal. In 5th place, Christopher Beeden from Plymouth State. In 4th place from Western Mountain, it is Jürgen Kerner. In 3rd place, Mark Parathner from Western Mountain. In 2nd place, Marcus Plyer from Sierra Nevada. And your unofficial champion here for the 2010 USCSA National Men's Giant Slalom, with the fastest runs in both the first and second run. We'd like to congratulate Philip Bratstrom, who will be your official winner and this year's national champion.
Boss, what we have to look at from here on out is going to be the team standings. Those are still very volatile. Look, after that first 30, definitely the individual standings probably pretty set. But we will definitely see a lot of change when it comes to the team standings. And of course, we have to acknowledge those skiers that came down after Philip Bratstrom. We had bib 24, Dan Halgren, with a time of 1:09.56. Gives him a combined time of 2:16.79. After him was bib 21, Max Winthrop of Babson, with a 1:08.14, giving him a combined time of 2:15.44. Bib 5, Nicholas Carlucci, finished with a time of 1:08.97, giving a combined time of 2:16.30. And right through the finish line right there was bib 44, Blake Raddick of the University of Minnesota at Duluth, and he finished with a time of 1:08.22, combined time of 2:15.83, good for 29th place as of right now.
Well, as things sit here for the team standings, Sierra Nevada College with just a minuscule lead over Western Mountain. Sierra Nevada in the first spot at 388.18. Western Mountain in second at 388.84. Rocky Mountain College in third at 395.24. Plymouth in fourth at 398.06. Boston College in fifth at 427.06. Colby Sawyer in sixth at 427.81. UMass Amherst in seventh at 428.28. St. Olaf in 8th at 428.40. Syracuse in 9th at 434.64. And in the 10th position, Whitman College at 445.38. So Sierra Nevada College with a 7/10 of a point lead over Western Mountain.
Parker Spear there from Plymouth State with an impressive time of 107.58. Combined time of 2:15.39. Good for 25th combined. We'll see if that moves Plymouth State up in the combined team standings.
Just some times for our scorers over there. From Plymouth State, wearing bib 72, Travis Nevins with a 108.44 in the second run, combined of 2:16.23. And Parker Spear from Plymouth State, 107.58 on the second run with a combined of 2:15.39. Now across the finish line from Sierra Nevada is Chad Hedlund. Hedlund with a 106.10, a fast 106.10. In fact, good enough for 8th place on the second run, giving him a combined time of 2:14.00. And on course now, Ben Middleton from the University of British Columbia. He was 39th after the first run. Incredible competition, though, as Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College, along with Marcus Plyer, his teammate, they take 1-2 here in the men's individual giant slalom.
Ben Middleton here, he's a freshman out of the University of British Columbia. I think we've got a lot to see out of Ben Middleton right there as he finished his first run in 39th place. And that run right there, a 109.63, good for 37th place on the second run with a combined time of 2:17.68. Lot to come in the 3 future years of USCSA racing for Ben Middleton out of the University of British Columbia.
Team standings now changing rapidly as Sierra Nevada still in first with Western Mountain right behind them. Rocky Mountain College now into third, Plymouth into fourth, Boston College into fifth. Colby Sawyer now moving up to 6th. UMass Amherst in 7th. St. Olaf in 8th. Syracuse in 9th. Whitman College in 10th. Let's take your next 10 places. In 11th, University of British Columbia. Clarkson in 12th. Northern Michigan University in 13th. Babson in 14th. University of Minnesota in Duluth in 15th. Fairfield University in 16th, Castleton College in 17th, Penn State in 18th, Stanford in 19th, and Virginia Tech rounding out your top 20. But the day belongs to Sierra Nevada's Philip Bratstrom with an incredible 2-run combination, winning both the first and second run. And it's amazing, he actually won the first and second run by a substantial margin. 102.6 on the first run for Bratstrom. Next nearest time was 103.4, so an 0.8 of a second lead after the first. And he comes back with a 105.1 in the second. 105.5 is the next time, so just an impressive performance by Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College. Few racers to report now. From the University of British Columbia, wearing bib 52, Ben Middleton with a time of 109.63, combined 217.68. Cedric Dubois from Clarkson University wearing bib number 36. The second run time of 109.92 and a combined time of 217.97. And now just crossing the finish line from Castleton College, it's Bobby Jones. Second run time of 110.71 and a combined of 218.82.
We had a short course hold as bib 50, Jake Seidel, who finished 42 after the first run, had a DNF, maybe a little bit of a bad wipeout. We'll check in with him later. But now back on course is bib 46, Alexander Matheson of the University of British Columbia.
Again, your rundown from your top 5 in the individual competition. In the 5th position, Christopher Beeden out of Plymouth State University. Western Mountain College's Jurgen Karner coming in 4th place with his teammate Mark Parathoner coming in 3rd place. Sierra Nevada taking the top 2 spots with Marcus Plyer in the 2nd position. And today's winner also from Sierra Nevada, Philip Bratstrom. So Sierra Nevada College and Western Mountain College, as we spoke earlier this morning, about whether there was an advantage for East Coast skiers on the East Coast and West Coast skiers on the West Coast. Nick, it looks like we've blown that theory right out of the door.
Apparently, I guess I was wrong once again, but there was Alexander Matheson, a big wipeout there towards the bottom of the course, just caught an edge down at the flats, and he was down on the ground for a while. He's back up, took out a gate panel with him, but he is back standing up on the side of the course. He'll, of course, be a DNF.
Now crossing the finish line right behind him from Babson College, it's Connor Lemens wearing bib number 84. His second run time of 108.91 will give him a combined of 217.11. And here comes Matheson now skiing down on the outside of the course. Tough break for Matheson. No, check that. That was Jake Seidel, not Matheson.
It does look like Matheson is skiing down the side of the course. He was a DNF. Looks like it was more of a moral injury than a physical one, as he is up on his feet, although somewhat heartbroken.
So a tough break for Alexander Matheson and Jake Seidel. On course now, David Simon from Clarkson University, wearing bib number 53. He was 45th after the first run and with a 108.30. Joe Atwood from Colby Sawyer now on course out of the start gate. Getting ready to come down for his second round from St. Olaf, also Jeff Stamp. But here comes David Simon from Clarkson University.
David Simon out of New Jersey. Very strong racer out of that region, fist pumping his way all the way down the course.
And now Simon across the finish line in 108.90, giving him a combined time of 217.20. Joe Atwood from Colby Sawyer College now on course. He's wearing a bib 69.
Joe Atwood, the sophomore out of Colby Sawyer College.
Oh, and Atwood, he's able to make the gate.
Ooh.
But then he went down. And lots of people flying now up here in the middle of the course as Joe Atwood letting it all hang out there. He got around one. He started to struggle, and he just didn't have enough to pull it back in the second one, and Atwood not very happy with himself. So a tough break for Joe Atwood. He will be a DNF here in this 2010 Men's Giant Slalom Final. But a great day for Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College. He was definitely the man to beat after the first run. And no one was up for the challenge. Bratstrom must have woken up this morning and said, this national championship is mine. And he went out and laid it down, not in one run, but in both runs, having the best time in both runs. And I'll tell you something, Nick, you don't beat a skier who scores the best time in both runs. He wins.
Yep, certainly ate his Wheaties this morning, boss.
Now coming across the finish line, Jeff Stamp from St. Olaf University. Stamp tucking through the finish line, and across the stripe comes Stamp. Stamp with a 109.60 on the second run with a combined time of 217.92. Let's take a look at the team standings now. Still Sierra Nevada with a slight edge over Westminster College. Check that. I wanted to give an update on that. I got those letters mixed up, so it is not Western State College. It is Westminster College in second place. And Mark Parathiner and Jurgen Karner, the third and fourth finishers for Westminster College. So Sierra Nevada College in first place with 388.18. Westminster College at 388.84, just behind Sierra Nevada. Rocky Mountain now still in third. Plymouth State up to fourth place. St. Olaf moving into the fifth position at 404.06. Clarkson in sixth. Boston College in seventh. Colby Sawyer College in eighth. UMass Amherst in ninth. University of British Columbia in 10th. Syracuse in 11th. Babson in 12th. Whitman College in 13th. Northern Michigan University in 14th. University of Minnesota Duluth in 15th. Fairfield College in 16th. Castleton in 17th. Penn State in 18th, Stanford in 19th, and rounding out the top 20 is Virginia Tech.
Boy, boss, it's going to be really tough to beat Sierra Nevada College. Right now, they've got the 1st, 2nd, and 9th slots, which is very impressive for a national championship. Westminster, of course, taking 3, 4, and 6. So really, it's all between those two schools, Sierra Nevada and Westminster. We'll see who takes down the gold medal for the team standings.
Just to bring our scores up to date here, Jeff Stamp, bib number 55 from St. Olaf College, a 109.60 in his second run for a combined of 217.92. From Westminster College, Jacob Ringbrand wearing bib number 99, a 109.13 in the second run. Check that, a 107.24 in the second run with a combined time of 215.74. Nate Hansen from St. Olaf, a second run of 109.13 and a combined score of 217.75, wearing bib number 99. Check that, bib number 75. And now Robert Kraft from Penn State University wearing bib 19 across the line with a second time of 110.90 and a combined score of 219.63. Dave Loftus now from British. Check that, from Boston College across the line wearing bib 102. Loftus with a 107.56 and a combined time of 216.36. Currently on course from Colby Sawyer College, Andrew Smith wearing bib number 71. He was 52nd after the first run with a 108.81. Now he's making his way down the head wall. Coming up next in the start shack from Colby Sawyer College is Brad West. But Sierra Nevada College and Westminster College owning the men's giant slalom here in the first 4 slots, 2 for SNC and 2 for WMC. And Philip Ratstrom, the man to beat today. No one could, and he will win a national championship here at the 2010 USCSA Nationals. Across the line now, bib number 71 from Colby Sawyer College. That's Andrew Smith with a time of 108.60 and a combined time of 217.41.
Andrew Smith from Colby Sawyer, great improvement from that first run. He was 52nd after the first run, but he had the 34th best time on the second run, bringing him to 41st overall.
Sierra Nevada still in the lead. Westminster in second. Rocky Mountain in third. Plymouth in fourth. Boston College in fifth. But now some movement. Up to sixth place is Colby Sawyer College. St. Olaf down to seventh now. Clarkson in eighth. UMass Amherst in ninth. University of British Columbia in 10th. Syracuse in 11th now. Babson in 12th. Whitman in 13th. Northern Michigan University in 14th. University of Minnesota Duluth in 15th. Fairfield in 16th. Castleton in 17th. Penn State in 18th. Stanford in 19th. And Virginia Tech in the 20th position. So positions changing as these skiers come down this second run. Every spot counts for these colleges, and they are paying attention closely.
And through the finish line just moments ago is bib 106, George Packard, the communications major out of Colby Sawyer College. He had a 108.77 on that second run and a 217.64 combined time. Good for 42nd place as of right now.
Now coming over the head wall is Dom Sear, racing for the University of Maine at Orono. Sear, a CVA graduate, and Sear, he almost got out of course. Can he make it back to the red gate? Yes, he can. But he has lost all of the momentum. He was able to make the gate. He went wide on the blue gate to the left side of the run, and he was able to pull it back in, but lost all of his speed, so a tough break for Sear. You know, Nick, though, when that happens, that means you are pushing all the way to the limit. When you reach out that far and really push past the gate way too far. Let's see if Dom Sear can put something together here at the bottom of the run. And across the finish line comes Dom Sear from the University of Maine at Orono. A good job of recovering there at the top. He had a good run going. He was good in the intermediate splits. Just a little too late on that far right gate at the top of the head wall, and it cost him all his speed.
Well, I mean, when you're racing that low in the order, it's worth it to take some gambles. You're not planning on winning that race, but you can at least move up in the standings as far as possible. So a good aggressive skiing out of Dominique Sear of UMaine Orono.
Sear with a 113.33 on the second run, combined time of 2:22.37. Here comes Jonathan Diem from Rocky Mountain College. Let's see if this will change any of the team standings. Wearing bib number 103 is Jonathan Diem with a time of 108.59 and a combined time of 217.63. Here are your top 10 team standings. Sierra Nevada still in first. Westminster in second. Rocky Mountain in third. Plymouth State in fourth. Boston College in fifth. Colby Sawyer in sixth. St. Olaf in seventh. Clarkson in eighth. Whitman, UMass Amherst, University of British Columbia, and Syracuse University rounding out the top 12. In 13th, it's Babson. In 14th, Northern Michigan. University of Minnesota Duluth in 15th. Fairfield, Castleton, Penn State, Stanford, and Virginia Tech round out your top 20. It is Stefan Ogle across the line for UMass Amherst now with a second run time of 110.15 and combined score of 219.22, while Keith Vella from Babson is on course wearing bib 47 coming down through the center section of this head wall.
Stefan Ogle, the junior at UMass Amherst, really resurrected the UMass Alpine ski team as a club team, so bravo, Stefan Ogle. Congrats on your performance at Nationals, and hope to see you next year back here at the USCSA National Championships.
Keith Vella down from Babson. Into the last four gates for Vella. Vella staying into the tuck, looking good. Skis are running smoothly, and over the stripe comes Vella. Keith Vella from Babson College with a time of 110.59 and a combined time of 219.84. Now on course, Gregory Tao from Castleton, wearing bib number 29. He was 58th after the first run with a 109.25, but he's moving well here in the second run. The intermediate split bringing him to 51st and now to 49th in the second intermediate split. Let's see if he can keep it going here at the bottom of the course for Gregory Tao. Also on course now from Cornell, Ryan Sorrell.
Greg Towell, the senior out of Castleton College, approaching the finish line. He loves working on cars, and he really got under the hood of that giant slalom course.
And Greg Towell across the stripe in 111.03. That's wearing bib number 29, skiing for Castleton. His combined time, 220.28. Ryan Sorrell now from Cornell University on course. Your top 10 again in the individual standings. Matt Bunston in the 10th slot from the University of British Columbia. Sierra Nevada College's Matthias Melziva in the 9th position. Then from Rocky Mountain College, Bjorn Twas in 8th and his teammate Ollie Freiberg in 7th. Lawrence Jedadal from Westminster in the 6 slots. And now crossing the finish line is Peter Smiley from Stanford, wearing bib number 1. And Peter Smiley now. Oh, check that. That was Ryan Sorrell wearing bib number 121 that just came across the finish line. His time, a 108.87, giving him a combined time of 218.25. And now Peter Smiley from Stanford University, he's on course. And it looks like he is now not on course. He is going to turn around and hike. He missed a gate, and it looks like he's going to try to get that gate back. In fact, that's exactly what he's doing. And now he's back on course. So Peter Smiley with some difficulties here in the bottom third, but he's able to recover, hiked back up, made the gate, and now he's coming down into the last 2 sets. And to the finish line comes Peter Smiley from Stanford University. So wearing bib number 1 for Stanford, Peter Smiley. His second time of 125.82 gives him a final time of 235.01. So a tough break for Smiley.
Peter Smiley out of Cornell having to hike, but it looks like he hiked a lot faster than I can ski downhill. So good for him. That's why he's at Nationals. And I'm up here in the announcing booth with Boss Hogg.
Hugh Kirkpatrick now from Boston College on course. Coming down into the last 4-gate set. Here comes Hugh Kirkpatrick. Now Kirkpatrick across the finish line with a time of 115.85. And that'll give him a combined time of 225.05. .44. Tim Balk from Whitman College is on course. And from Fairfield in the start shack is Gregory Peterson. Quick rundown of your team scores now. Sierra Nevada College still in first. Westminster College in second. I'm not sure those are going to change at all. Rocky Mountain College in third. Plymouth State in fourth. Now Boston College in fifth. Colby Sawyer in sixth. St. Olaf in seventh. UMass Amherst in eighth. Clarkson in ninth. And Babson rounding out the top 10. Tim Back from Whitman College across the finish line now wearing bib number 50. Check that, 66. And his second run in 108.69, giving him a 218.83 final time. And it looks like there is a hold on the course now as they start to slip and clean things up. The rut's starting to develop here later in the pack. They want to try to smooth that out, make it fair for the riders in the back of the pack. Our next skier, bib number 33 from Fairfield, it's Gregory Peterson in the start shack, awaiting his second run. But the big day belongs to Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College in an impressive two-run combination, winning both the first and the second runs with the fastest time. An amazing 207.78 combined time. Over 1.2 seconds faster than the nearest competitor. In second place, his teammate Marcus Plyer. Westminster College had two high placers right until the end, until Plyer and Bratstrom came through. Mark Parathiner from Westminster finished in third position, and Jurgen Karner, also from Westminster, finished in the fourth slot. Christopher Beeden from Plymouth State University rounding out the top 5.
Next up on course, you got bib 33, Gregory Peterson of Fairfield University. He won the New Jersey Conference men's overall title in 2009. He was just followed by The Situation and Snooki, I believe, boss.
Well, speaking of The Situation, I think you might be here in the broadcast booth with us, joining us. No, in fact, it's not The Situation.
Nope, doesn't quite have the abs, but he is from New Jersey. Chris Aliano, my fellow Boston University colleague and a wonderful announcer who will be bringing us tomorrow's women's slalom run. I look forward to that.
Well, that's if you can actually live long enough to wake up and see that event, Nikki. After that comment, I'm not sure what Aliano is going to do to you. But back to ski racing here from Sunday River. Boss Hog, Nick Holton bringing you the action from the Barker Mountain Lodge here at beautiful Sunday River in western Maine. Day number 3 of the USCSA National Championships here from Sunday River. And a big day for the men as the giant slalom competition winding up here on the T2 Monday Morning Trail. Now Eric Barnum from Cornell University making his way through the final sets of gates here at the lower part of the course. Connor O'Brien from Castleton now on course as well. And here under the finish banner comes Eric Barnum from Cornell University with a time of 109.87 and a combined effort of 220.09. Now coming over the top of the head wall, it's Connor O'Brien from Castleton College.
Connor O'Brien out of Castleton says his hero is Greg Towell, the ski racer of Castleton who we saw come down the course just before him. Let's see if Connor O'Brien can beat out his hero.
And into the last 3 gates comes O'Brien from Castleton. And across the stripe, it's Connor O'Brien with a time of 110.10 and a combined effort of 220.32. Now Willie Colt on course from Plymouth State University. In the start shack from Penn State, it's Wes Hall. Still no change in the top 5 team standings. Sierra Nevada leading Westminster by 0.7 of a point. Rocky Mountain College in 3rd, Plymouth State in 4th, Boston College in 5th. Let's go down the list for the team standings as soon as we see Willie Colt from Plymouth State cross the finish line. And now Colt into the finish corral with a time of 109.36 and a combined effort of 219.59. Colby Sawyer College in 6th place. St. Olaf in 7th. UMass Amherst at 8th. Clarkson in 9th. Whitman now in the 10th slot. Babson owns 11th. Castleton in 12th. University of British Columbia in 13th. Syracuse in 14th. 15th belongs to Northern Michigan University. 16th, University of Minnesota at Duluth. 17th, Fairfield. 18th, Penn State University. 19th is Stanford. And 20th is Virginia Tech.
Right now we've got Wes Holt of Penn State on course. He claims to be a 50-point racer when he was in J1 his freshman year. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. But he's through the finish line there. Wes Hall of Penn State.
Wes Hall from Penn State with a time of 112.19. That'll give him a combined effort of 222.97. Dalton Williams down from Syracuse University wearing bib 110 on course. He's followed by Loyola Marymount University's Jack Jarvis in the 4th bib. And in the start shack from Cornell University is Chad Kosar. He'll be in bib 119. Philip Bratstrom winning today's giant slalom here at Sunday River, followed by his teammate Marcus Plyer. Westminster College then getting the 3rd and 4th slots. Mark Parathner in the 3rd position and Jurgen Karner in the 4th slot. Plymouth State's Christopher Beeden in 5th. Westminster's Lorenz Jeddah-Dahl in 6th. Rocky Mountain College with a couple of strong finishes. 7th by Oleg Freiberg and 8th by Bjorn Twas. Sierra Nevada back in at 9th place with Matthias Metziva. And rounding out the top 10 from the University of British Columbia is Matt Dunstan.
Just to the finish line there was bib 110, Dalton Williams of Syracuse. Finished with a second run time of 1:13.58. Combined time of 2:24.42. He's a songwriter, guitarist, pianist, and vocalist, probably singing his way all the way down that course. Finishing with a decent time.
Here comes Jack Jarvis now across the stripe in 1:15.34, giving us a combined time of 226.19. So Jarvis from Loyola Marymount University wearing bib number 4. Now on course, Chad Kosar from Cornell, his teammate Bruce Hemlin right behind him. And from the University of Pennsylvania in the start house, it's Andrew Starkey. Check that, Andrew Stanley. And now in the final 2 gates comes Chad Kosar from Cornell University. Kosar across the stripe in 111.28, giving him a combined time of 222.33. Bruce Hamlin, his roommate at Cornell, is right behind him. Now Cornell bringing Bruce Hamlin over the top of the head wall into the middle section of the course. Looks like he's skiing well up there. And Andrew Stanley from the University of Pennsylvania now on course. Northern Michigan's Kyle December waits atop at the start house, waiting for his cue to come on to the course. But now it's Bruce Hamlin from Cornell University. Hamlin now across the stripe. And Hamlin with a 110.34 as his second round time, giving him a combined of 221.50.
Hamlin of Cornell carving some beautiful turns down that hill, made it look easy.
Andrew Stanley from the University of Pennsylvania now into the lower third of the course. Kyle December from Northern Michigan University has dropped in, and awaiting at the top is Robert Burke from Castleton. But here comes Andrew Stanley from the University of Pennsylvania.
Andrew Stanley, expect to see a lot of him out of slalom on Saturday. He was 2nd place in slalom at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Championships, and he finishes that race right here at the GS Men's National Championships.
So Andrew Stanley from University of Pennsylvania clocks a 112.70 on his second run. 224.04 is the combined. Kyle December now through the middle section, about halfway, moving into the lower third. December skiing for Northern Michigan University. He was 74th after the first run. Looks like he's picked up some time here in the first and second intermediate splits. And here comes Kyle December from Northern Michigan University. Robert Burke also on course for Castleton, and Cornell's John Parsons in the start house, waiting to drop in for his second run.
Kyle December there, bib 51, finished with a time of 1:13.17, combined time of 2:24.57. This USCSA 2010 National Championships has been his biggest race since his appearance at the J4 Junior Olympics in Crusted Butte, Colorado, back as a youngin'.
And Robert Burke looked like he was unable to hit the red gate there on the skier's left, halfway up the head wall, and in fact he has skied out. So Robert Burke, a tough break for Robert, as he'll ski down the side and will be a DNF.
Robert Burke, a great skier and all ECSC Thompson Division team member in 2010. I'm sure we'll see a lot of him in slalom on Saturday here at the USCSA National Championships.
John Parsons from Cornell University, wearing bib number 124. He's currently on course, coming through the center section here. 76th place with a 1:11.59 in his first run. Had a good first intermediate split. And here comes John Parsons for Cornell University. Parsons into the last 5 gates of the run. He maintains his tuck, and across the stripe comes John Parsons with a time of 1:10.14. That'll give him a combined effort of 2:21.73.
We got a short course hold here, but next up we'll see CJ Piero out of Syracuse University. If you recall, he's still searching for the best cheeseburger ever. Let me tell you, they have some great cheeseburgers here at the Lodge at Sunday River here in Newry, Maine. Look, it's just a 3.5-hour drive up from Boston, Massachusetts. Please join us here for the USCSA National Championships. Love to see you here. And so with CJ Piero now on course out of Syracuse University. He's just about to come over this head wall, and here is CJ Piero taking a pretty tight line just over the top of that head wall where we can see him down here at the timing shack. Skidding out a little bit on the pitch, but he's throwing together a pretty decent run. He's just about to approach the flats here. CJ Piero out of Syracuse University. Into the flats, CJ. Here he comes, approaching the finish line. Lasts about 6 gates here into a tuck. A little bit wide from the gates, but still approaching the finish line is CJ Piero, and he's through the finish line here, skidding into a stop here at the USCSA National Championships. Time for bid number 85, CJ Piero out of Syracuse, is a 1:12.66, 1:12.66. Combined time for CJ Piero out of Syracuse University is a 2:24.46. And next on course, we'll see Richard Beneducci out of Babson. Bib number 97 approaching the flats. That's Richard Beneducci of Babson. Getting some good angles there. Taking no prisoners when it comes to those GS gates. Entering into a tuck and through the finish line is bib number 97, Richard Beneducci of Babson, with a time of 1:14.11 on his second run. Combined time for bib 97, Richard Beneducci, is a 2:26.86. 2:26.86 for bib 97. Next up, we'll see bib 89, David Neutzel of the University of Minnesota over there in Duluth. Currently approaching the flats. He was 79th after the first run, and it looks like he's throwing together a pretty decent run here at the USCSA National Championships men's giant slalom race. Of course, this race being dominated by Philip Bradstrom of Sierra Nevada College, winning the first and second run and destroying the combined time by over a second. Through the finish line there is bib 89, David Newstall of the University of Minnesota at Duluth. Second run time for bib 89 is a 1:13.06, 1:13.06. Combined time for bib 89 is a 2:25.82, 2:25.82. And now on course, we'll see Christopher Jacobs. Christopher Jacobs is a senior at Babson College. He loves yoga and organic food. He's a stamp collector. But right now, he's all about collecting names that he's destroying here on the GS course at the USCSA National Championships. He came in 81st after the first run, but he's looking to impress his mom, Kathleen, his dad, Chris, his brother, Sean, and his sister, Erin. You know what? Do it for Erin out there, Chris Jacobs of Babson. Approaching that flats. Oh, wow. Getting some big angles there is Chris Jacobs of Babson, bib number 63. Oh, flail a little bit in the upper body. But Chris Jacobs will keep his upper body stable when he comes down towards the finish line here at the USCSA National Championships, destroying gates. Wow, and through the finish line at Sunday River, Maine in Newry is bid number 63, Chris Jacobs of Babson with a time of 1:11.95, 1:11.95. Combined time for bib 63 is a 2:24.75, putting him in 68th place. Chris Jacobs out of Babson.
Nick Holden bringing you the call here from the broadcast booth at the bottom of Barker Mountain. We are almost completing the second run of all the skiers here for the men's GS. Philip Bratstrom, the time to beat from Sierra Nevada College in the first run. No one could do it in the second run, and he will win a national championship here today. Marcus Plyer, his teammate, in second place. Mark Parathner from Westminster in the third slot. That's your podium. Let's go over the team standings now. Sierra Nevada still in first. It looks like it might finish that way. Sierra Nevada, Westminster College, Rocky Mountain College, Plymouth State, and Boston College are your top five. 6 through 10, Colby Sawyer in 6th, St. Olaf in 7th, UMass Amherst, Clarkson, and Whitman College round out your top 10. Then from 11th place, it's Babson, Syracuse in 12th, Castleton in 13th, University of British Columbia in 14th, and Northern Michigan University in 15th. University of Minnesota in Duluth at 16th, Penn State at 17th, Fairfield at 18th, Loyola Marymount in 19th, and Stanford now moving into the 20th position.
Well, looks like bib 42, Steven Matson out of Stanford, was a double eject right there. Really popping out of both of those skis and calling the snow his new home here at the USCSA National Championships. You know, the fact is he might have DNF'd, but he can play the trumpet like Louis Armstrong, boss. And next on course, we've got Taylor Essen of the University of Minnesota at Duluth. Look, Taylor's a senior there, and he gives props to his dad, Pat, mom, Cindy, and brother Jordan. He's a secondary education major there at University of Minnesota Duluth, and he'll fly through the finish line with a second run time of 1:13.93 and a combined time of 2:27.58. Short stop on course for our Louis Armstrong back there, who decided to take a little spill, Stephen Jimmy Matzat. But we've got bib number 62 back on course, Garrett Cooper of Penn State University. 86th after his first run. After him, we'll see Steven Zolter of Castleton. Boss, it's been quite a race out there. Wow. A lot of action.
Well, it's fun to watch these racers come down in two runs. You never know what's going to happen in the second. You've got to get through to the second run, of course, to be competitive here. And so the first run becomes very, very important. But nothing looked faster today than Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College. An impressive first run, laid it down. Was the only sub-103 finisher in the first run, posting a blistering 102.60. That was almost an entire second faster than his teammate, Marcus Plyler. Ollie Freiberg had a great first run, too, at 103.36. but then struggled in the second round, coming back at a 107.25, only good enough for 23rd place in the second run. And it put him out of second place into 7th place for the final. But an incredible performance from Sierra Nevada's Philip Bratstrom. It's Bratstrom, Plyer, Parathoner, Karner, Beeden, Jedidal, Freeberg, Twas, Melziva, Dunstan, and Ostrowski.
Pretty disappointing performance by Ollie Freiberg, bib 2. He's out of the Rocky Mountain College. He was originally from Sweden, and that second run he's a little bit disappointed with. 23rd in the second run after he was second in the first run. Really bumped him down to 7th place, but still something to be proud of. This is a national championship, 7th place. Nothing to be disappointed with.
Well, it just goes to show you, Nick, these athletes are so fine-tuned and anything can happen on any day. One edge catch, one bump into the gate that's just a little awkward. Sometimes it's out of the starting gate. Sometimes the legs get tired. Just it's a number of things that can mean the difference between a first-place finish and a 30th place finish in ski racing. You know, that is a neat part about the World Cup competition when we see these racers. I mean, when you find someone who can actually win 2 World Cups in a season, it's a miracle, much less to win them back-to-back. But what we watched today was we watched Philip Bratstrom throw down 2 huge giant slalom runs back-to-back, and he won them both. So he must have gotten the big fortune out of the fortune cookie yesterday that says he's going to be on the top of college skiing tomorrow because he came out here like a man possessed, and Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College will take home the gold, and no one even got in the way. It was literally bell to bell, start to finish. Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada. Adam Butler now on course from Penn State University. Stanford's Benjamin Summers wearing bib 64 also on course. And Brian Seminara from Fairfield is up in the start gate. Now across the finish line is Adam Butler with a 1:16.66 and a combined time of 2:31.84. Let's catch our score up from St. Olaf wearing bib 109, Joe Maschiapento, 1:14.42 and 2:27.49 is the combined. From the University of Minnesota at Duluth wearing bib 67, Taylor Essen with a 1:13.93, followed by a 2:27.58 combined time. Penn State's Garrett Cooper wearing bib number 62 with a 1:14.88 and a combined of 2:29.30. Now coming across the line from Stanford, it's Benjamin Summers with a 1:15.56 and a combined time of 2:31.34. That's Benjamin Summers wearing bib 64.
That, of course, bib 64, Benjamin Summer, the junior out of Stanford University. He originally thought that frostbite was actually a monster, not a freezing of skin, but in fact in a unique being.
The frostbite monster is on the course right now as Brian Seminara from Fairfield University makes his way across the stripe here into the finish corral. And Seminara wearing bib number 66, posting a 1:15.46 and a combined time of 2:31.40. Andrew Bonner from Clarkson now on course. And from UMass Amherst, Cameron Geller, he is on course. Fairfield's Jeff Frenzilli awaits the top at the timing shack, awaiting his second run.
Andrew Bonner now on course, aside from ski racing, loves hopscotch, hula hooping, and jump rope. Quite a diverse portfolio there for Andrew Bonner, who just passed through the finish line.
109.81 for Andrew Bonner. Actually, a great second run for Bonner. The 51st fastest in the second run. That'll give him a combined time of 2:25.97. Cameron Geller from UMass Amherst on course as he comes through the center section here. Jeff Franzilli from Fairfield has just come out of the race shack up at the top. He is on his second run. And Carl Dawson from the University of British Columbia awaits to drop in for his second run. Meanwhile, here comes Cameron Geller from UMass Amherst. Geller into the final 4 gates of this giant slalom run, and under the banner and over the stripe comes Geller with a time of 1:13.39 and a combined time of 2:29.57. Sierra Nevada, Westminster, Rocky Mountain, Plymouth State, and Boston College, your top 5 team finishers. Colby Sawyer in 6th, St. Olaf in 7th, UMass Amherst at 8th, Clarkson in 9th, and Whitman in 10th. Babson in 11th, Syracuse in 12th, Castleton in 13th, Northern Michigan in 14th, University of Minnesota Duluth in 15th, Penn State in 16th, University of British Columbia in 17th, Fairfield in 18th, Stanford in 19th, and now moved into the 20th spot is Loyola Marymount University, as Cameron Geller crosses the finish line in 1:13.39 with a combined score of 2:29.57, skiing for UMass Amherst, wearing bib 93. Now on course from British Columbia, Carl Dawson, wearing bib 80. Makes his way into the final 5 gates here on the Monday Morning Trail. And across the stripe comes Carl Dawson for the University of British Columbia. He finishes in a time of 1:16.91 and a combined time of 2:33.17.
Well, one of the great things about ski racing is we could see a completely different set of top teams and top competitors on Saturday when we watch the men's slalom race. Definitely a much more technical course, but it'll be very interesting to see how these teams fare on Saturday at the Men's Slalom Championship here at the USCSA National Championships at Sunday River.
Mark Hodel from the United States Military Academy into the final 2 gates. He tucks it in, and across the stripe comes Hodel. Hodel with a time of 1:18.24 and a combined effort of 2:34.77. Nice to see the United States Military Academy so well represented here in alpine skiing today. Benjamin Carroll from Penn State University, wearing bib 79, is on course. He makes his way into the lower third. He's followed by Taylor Pence from Virginia Tech. And in the start house, waiting to drop in for his second run, is Dale Mitchell from Loyola Marymount.
Benny Carroll, Penn State, originally out of Seaside, New Jersey. No surprise, he enjoys hitting the gym, going tanning, and doing laundry.
Now some changes here in the team standings. Colby Sawyer in 6th, St. Olaf in 7th, UMass Amherst in 8th, Clarkson in 9th, Whitman in 10th, Babson in 11th, Syracuse, Castleton, and the University of British Columbia in 12th, 13th, and 14th. Northern Michigan University in 15th, followed by the University of Minnesota Duluth, Penn State, Fairfield, Stanford, and now Loyola Marymount in the 20th slot, pushing Virginia Tech down to 21st.
Boss, it'll be very interesting to see if Sierra Nevada can keep up this domination in the slalom. They're only ahead of the next best school, Westminster, by about 0.7 of a second. So a very tight race there between Sierra Nevada and Westminster. We'll see how that all turns out on Saturday.
Dale Mitchell now for Loyola Marymount University on course. Chris Weber from the United States Military Academy, wearing bib 123 at the top of the course. But a big day for Sierra Nevada College in the individual competition as well as the team competition. Barring a miracle here, it appears that they will win the team competition here. But more importantly, they placed their top 2 athletes in the 1-2 slot on the individual podium. Philip Bratstrom with an incredible 2-run combination here, winning wire to wire, and he will be your 2010 USCSA National Champion in the men's giant slalom. Chris Weber from the United States Military Academy on course. Dale Mitchell from Loyola Marymount, bib number 32, just crossing the finish line in 1:22.67 with a combined time of 2:40.03. Now it's Chris Weber into the final 5 gates.
Chris Weber of the United States Military Academy, the senior, originally from Guilford, New Hampshire, of course. The gentleman that has torn his ACL literally every season of his racing career. It's impressive to see him here at the National Championships, boss.
Well, it was nice to meet his orthopedic surgeon in the parking lot. He was showing me his new Mercedes-Benz that he made off of Chris Weber. We're glad Chris is okay. He's down safely now for his second run. Weber with a 1:19.70 and a combined time of 2:37.58. Paul Farrell now on course from Stanford University, wearing bib number 90. And John Gilmore from the United States Military Academy will be in behind him. At the start gate now from the University of British Columbia, it's Ben Miller. And here comes Paul Farrell from Stanford University. Across the stripe comes Farrell. And Farrell with a time of 1:21.43 and a combined time of 2:40.25. Bib number 90 is Paul Farrell.
Paul Farrell, the freshman out of Stanford University. He was once a White House intern. Please say hi to Barack Obama for me while you're out there. Thank you, Mr. Farrell.
John Gilmore from the United States Military Academy now on course. Ben Millar has dropped in for the University of British Columbia, and in the start house, Ben Walker from Virginia Tech. Here comes John Gilmore from the U.S. Military Academy. Bobbles at the end, but he recovers, and he's able to cross the stripe. So good recovery there from John Gilmore from the United States Military Academy. His time in the second run, 1:21.99, with a combined effort of 2:42.09. Now Ben Millar on course from the University of British Columbia. And Ben Walker from Virginia Tech. Now just coming in out of the start house onto course. Stanford's William Dong is coming up next. In the meantime, Ben Millar wearing bib number 111 into the last 6 or 7 gates here on this T2 Monday morning course.
Ben Millar of the University of British Columbia looking really fast through those last few gates. Like the true Canadian he is, he loves igloo building.
Ben Walker now from Virginia Tech on course. From Loyola Marymount University, Samuel Carter in the start shack now, awaiting his second run. And now on course also from Stanford University, it's William Dong.
Ben Millar of the University of British Columbia finished with a second run time of 1:21.35, 1:21.35, combined time of a 2:41.64, 2:41.64 for bib 111.
And it looks like Ben Walker now struggling there almost to the last pitch of this giant slalom. I thought he was going to be able to make that last gate, but he was not. He slid out, and that's going to be the end of the day for Ben Walker. A tough break for Walker. Now coming down the head wall from Stanford University, it's William Dong wearing bib number 91. And also on course at the top from Loyola Marymount, it's Samuel Carter. Patrick Hogan from Fairfield awaits his second run from the shack. Here comes William Dong from Stanford University.
William Dong, the junior at Stanford University, is originally from North Oaks, Minnesota. Bib 91, William Dong of Stanford University will finish with a second run time of 1:22.76. His combined time for the day was 2:44.64.
On course from Loyola Marymount University, it's Samuel Carter. Carter moving through the center part now into the bottom third. Gary Lane from the University of Maine at Orono is in the start shack waiting for his second run.
Samuel Carter impressively maintaining a tuck almost all the way through that course.
And the time for Sam Carter now 129.48. That'll give him a combined time of 254.55. Patrick Hogan from Fairfield University on course. He's followed by Gary Lane from the University of Maine at Orono. And Virginia Tech's Jesse Wilkinson awaits his second run from the start shack. Congratulations to our winner today, Philip Bratstrom from Sierra Nevada College. The fastest in both runs, the fastest in the combined, and undoubtedly the 2010 USCSA Men's Giant Slalom champion. His teammate, Marcus Plyer, in second place. Sierra Nevada fielding an exceptionally good Giant Slalom team this year. In third place from Westminster College, it's Mark Parathiner. In fourth place, Shergan Karner, also from Westminster. And in fifth place, Christopher Beaton from Plymouth State.
Great show from Sierra Nevada, taking home the silver and the bronze. And also ninth place. That'll give them first place for the team overall standings for this GS race today. We'll see if that holds up in the slalom on Saturday.
Don't forget, great broadcast action here on the USCSA Radio Network tomorrow. We'll fire things up right at 9:15 a.m., bringing you live first run coverage of the women's slalom right here from the T2 Monday Morning Trail in Barker Mountain at Sunday River. We'll take a quick break for lunch and then be back with the second run of the women's slalom action tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. So we invite you to listen in at www.uscsa.com or join us right here at beautiful Sunday River Resort in New Remaine. Almost 5 feet of new snow over the last week have fallen here in the western Maine mountains. And what a great opportunity to enjoy some recreational skiing and take in some of the finest collegiate athletic performances you will see in snow sports all year long. Of course, events going on all over the mountain, including snowboard cross and skier cross.
It's been a great showing so far, boss. And right there, we saw a great showing from bib 87. Jesse Wilkinson out of Virginia Tech finished his second run time with a 122.82. Combined time of 250.22 for bib 87, Jesse Wilkinson. Fun fact about Jesse Wilkinson, junior out of Virginia Tech, he once skied 24 hours in snowshoe. That's a 24 ski race where you ski over and over again at a short downhill at snowshoe. So good for him. Jesse Wilkinson of Virginia Tech finishing that race right there.
Yeah, those are pretty fun races, Nick. I don't know if you've ever done one of those before, those 24-hour marathons. And it's a big relay team, and we've actually had a few of those up at the Sugarloaf Mountain, and they're quite a bit of fun. 24 hours of racing. It's certainly an exhausting reality at the end.
I bet. Shoot me an email the next time they have one of those 24 hours at Sugarloaf. I'd love to participate alongside Boss Hogg.
John Raymer now from Boston College on course, wearing bib number 58 in the start shack from the United States Military Academy. It's Jack Ballstead. And now John Raymer from Boston College. In fact, it looks like Raymer may be our last racer here. We're going to check that and see if Ballstead actually completed his first run. I don't believe he did. This could be the last racer of the second round from Boston College, John Raymer. And here comes John Raymer from Boston College, lifting up a ski right here at the finish line. Is able to gather himself, and into the corral comes John Raymer. And in fact, that is going to be our last racer of the day.
Boss, that was a colorful finish by John Raymer. Of course, knowing that he finished last in the first run, he throws his arms up in the air and celebrates a great second run there. He finished with a 1:10.30.
That is a great run, actually.
It was actually 57th overall, which is very impressive for nationals considering a dead last after the first run. I'd only assume that he had a rough crash after that first run, but came back, perseverance. Second run did great. Combined time of 3 minutes, 0 seconds, and .07 hundredths of seconds by John Raymer. Great job there.
A big day here at Sunday River as we have now completed the second run of the 2010 USCSA Men's Giant Slalom. And we want to congratulate today's national champion from Sierra Nevada College. It is Philip Bratstrom. He put it all together today. And at about 3:30 this afternoon, we will hand out the hardware during the awards ceremony for all of the events that took place today. Also have some hardware to give out for some women's snow pipe events from a couple of days ago. So a big award ceremony all firing up at 3:30 right here at Barker Mountain. We invite you to come and join us if you are in the Western Maine area. And that's going to do it for us here from the T2 Monday Morning Trail. A great day of ski racing here. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage on the World Wide Web. Thanks for tuning in to the USCSA Radio Network. And most importantly, we would like to congratulate our winner of the 2010 USCSA National Championship in the Men's Giant Slalom from Sierra Nevada College. It is Philip Bratstrom's day. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:15 a.m. for live coverage of the women's slalom competition. Both runs here from the T2 Monday Morning Trail at Barker Mountain. In the meantime, we hope you'll check out the website at www.uscsa.com for all final results of all events here at the 2010 National Championships. We'd also like to thank our broadcast sponsors today, Reliable Racing. You can check them out on the web at www.reliableracing.com. And Halty USA, the official clothing supplier of the USCSA. And visit them on the web at www.haltyusa.com. On behalf of the USCSA and for Sunday River, Maine, and my broadcast partner here, Nick Holden, this is Boss Hogg saying so long, everybody.